Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, police seek men in attempted arson attack. The St. Mary police are seeking two men who attempted to set a house on fire in the community of Grandstone, St. Mary on Friday, February 14. Reports are that around 5:30 a.m., the homeowner, a 34-year-old laborer, heard sounds coming from his kitchen. Upon investigating, he saw two men dressed in black with a ski mask pouring a liquid substance inside the kitchen. Upon seeing the homeowner, they lit a piece of cloth which started the fire. The homeowner quickly put out the fire with a fire extinguisher, and the men made good their escape. Reports are that the fire was a reprisal stemming from an ongoing issue with family members of the homeowner and the persons from the community, where the matter is said to be before the court. Due to the incident, the St. Mary police imposed a 48-hour curfew, which started on Friday and will end on Sunday, February 16, in a bid to restore normalcy in the community. Construction worker charged for Rainford Road, St. Andrew fatal gun attack. The St. Andrew South Criminal Investigation Branch has charged a Bay Farm Road man for shooting a man in the head and wounding another in an attack along Rainford Road in the parish last February. Yannick Reed, 31, a construction worker, is charged with murder, conspiracy to murder, wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, and using a firearm to commit a felony. His court date is being finalized. Killed in the attack was 42-year-old Jason Griffiths of Christian Gardens. At about 12:15 a.m. on Sunday, February 15, 2024, Reed met up with Griffiths and another man before opening gunfire, hitting Griffiths in the head and injuring the other man. The police were alerted and both men were taken to hospital, where Griffiths was pronounced dead on arrival, while the other man was treated and later released. An intensive investigation led to Reed's arrest. He was taken into custody and subsequently charged after a question and answer interview. JFJ not happy about omissions from throne speech. Jamaicans for Justice has described the throne speech presented during the ceremonial opening of Parliament on Thursday as lacking continuity, in that it failed to mention previously announced plans in respect of security and justice. Executive Director Michael Jackson argues that critical policy updates were left out of the presentation, which outlines the legislative agenda for the parliamentary year. She adds that there were no updates on the use of body-worn cameras, as well as the unexplained wealth order, among other pressing policy and the legislative initiatives. While Ms. Jackson has lauded the government for amendments to the Firearms Act, she believes that the move could have been avoided had it listened to key justice advocates.
We have seen nothing on the Enhanced Security Measures Act, that proposed bill that the government has been championing. I think that is something that the throne speech should have addressed. We saw no update on the body-worn cameras, noting that the last two throne speeches mentioned some of those provisions, and they went into greater detail when you listened to the Minister of National Security. Last year, and I think the year before, we heard about the changes that were to come to the Domestic Violence Act. Concerning for JFJ is that though a joint select committee was established since last year, they only met twice. We wrote an open letter to the Minister of Gender. We have not gotten a response, but I think the throne speech should give an update on such an important piece of legislation. There is an amendment to be made to the Firearms Act, which is simply course correcting a provision that was put in place, which is the effect of the mandatory minimum sentence, where several attorneys and human rights organizations such as JFJ had cautioned the government that when you remove judicial discretion and opportunity for renegotiation, it's going to have a devastating effect. So we welcome that it will be amended, but this is the caution that we generally put to the government of Jamaica, that while you want to arrest the situation of crime, we have to ensure that there are sound policies that are being put forward and not just a knee-jerk reaction to public sentiment. And I think this is an example of where the government needed to have listened to those who had issued a word of caution before.
Police mourning loss of legendary St. Anne cop. The Police High Command and the St. Anne Police are mourning the loss of National Award-winning cop Detective Corporal Garfield Ledford of the Runaway Bay Police. He died Friday from injuries sustained during a motor vehicle collision on the Landover Main Road more than 2 weeks ago. The policeman suffered multiple injuries and was rushed to St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital. He was later transferred to the intensive care unit at the Kingston Public Hospital. Head of the St. Anne Police Division, Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, told the news the division is devastated by the death of the corporal.
We received news this morning that he died whilst being treated at the hospital. I want to use this opportunity this time to express, on behalf of the entire management of the St. Anne Division, our deepest condolences to his bereaved family, the staff at Runaway Bay, and the entire CIB across the St. Anne Division. The division is in a very sad and somber mood at this time.
Detective Corporal Ledford in 2003 received the Badge of Honor for gallantry. While on duty in the Market District in Brownstown, St. Anne, Detective Corporal Ledford was escorting a businessman and his employees to a location when they were pounced on by 3 men armed with guns. The men barricaded the group inside a building. Detective Corporal Ledford managed to draw his service pistol and opened fire on the attackers, killing 2 of them. The 3rd man was later convicted for the crime. Indicom probing police killing of man on Washington Boulevard. The Independent Commission of Investigations is probing the fatal shooting of a man reportedly during a confrontation with the police along Washington Boulevard in St. Andrew. Mark Dale, 45, of Simmons Park, Kingston 20, was shot sometime after 9 o'clock on Tuesday. An illegal gun was reportedly seized. It is reported that members of the Air Force Fugitive Apprehension Team were on patrol in the St. Andrew South Police Division when they observed Mr. Dale along Worrell Crescent in the Jewsland community. The police said that when Mr. Dale saw them, he pulled a firearm and engaged them in a running gun battle. He was shot along Washington Boulevard and the weapon was reportedly seized. Robinson blames the structure of government for inefficiencies in state operations. Opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson is of the view that the structure of the current government is partly responsible for inefficiencies within the operations of the state. Mr. Robinson argues that there are too many agencies under the Super Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, making it very challenging to manage competing priorities and demands. He contends that the situation is compounded by the fact that the Prime Minister is the Minister of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation was formed in 2016 by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness with the stated goal of streamlining government activities towards accelerating growth in the economy. Mr. Robinson has also pledged that the PNP administration will reintroduce the Development Council, which was chaired by the Prime Minister in the previous administrations, to increase operational efficiency. He added that the proposed changes to the Public Procurement Act, which were tabled this week in Parliament, will help to reduce government bureaucracy and improve the ease of doing business. Last month, the Prime Minister established a task force dubbed SPEED to improve and drive Jamaica's economic efficiency and foster rapid growth.
Approval, oversight of many different things have to go to his personal desk. And given the nature of the office of the Prime Minister, it is difficult to deal with these things in a timely fashion. So I also believe the way the government is structured facilitates some of the inefficiencies and the bottlenecks that we are seeing. So we are committed to having a process, whether it's called Development Council or something else, which would meet, whether it's on a monthly basis, to look at large-scale projects and ensure where there are cross-cutting of ministries, agencies, and departments, that their smooth implementation, and to reduce this concentration of the economic-related agencies under the portfolio of one particular individual.
Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.